Good morning, everyone. My name is Angelo Solinat, and today let's talk about the historical antecedents in the course of Science and Technology, Chapter 1. Basically, antecedent means a thing or event that existed before. And before we are going to proceed with our topic, here's our learning outcomes. Explain how science and technology affected the society and environment and vice versa. Then identify inventions and discoveries that changed the world over the course of history. And lastly, discuss the scientific and technological developments in the Philippines. So, science and technology. Science and technology indeed play major roles in the everyday life. They make difficult and complicated tasks easier and allow people to do more with so little effort and time. The development in this field are not just products of people's imagination or one-time thought process. They are also brought about by gradual improvements to earlier works from different. Basically, here we have developed new materials and things that magamit natin na mga ginagamit natin. Then, it allows us to improve more sa current build natin. The driving force behind this continuous progress is the desire to raise the quality of life of the people. Then let's talk about the ancient times. In the ancient times, people were concerned with transportation and navigation, communication and record keeping, mass production, security and protection, as well as health, aesthetics, and architecture. In ancient civilization, people face many challenges. Like, for example, like the traveling, foods shortage, as well as diseases and their safety. And these needs led to the birth of various technologies and innovations. One of the thing here is transportation and the navigation. Early humans needed to explore, trade, or migrate, so they developed boats and maps. Navigation tools helped them find their way and return home safely. So, it was a significant during that time because people were trying to go places and discover new horizons or new places. They traveled to search for food and find better locations for their settlements or homes. They also traveled to do trades of their surplus goods in exchange for things that they lack, such as knowledge or etc. Navigation assisted them in their journeys to unfamiliar and strange areas in the world. It allowed them to return home after they discovered a new place or completed an important trade with another group of people. The next is communication. Uh, Communication was also essential in their endeavors to discover and occupy new places. They needed a way to communicate with the relatives of the areas they visited so as to facilitate trade and prevent possible conflicts. One thing that causes conflicts is it's due to different uh, language, cultures, and beliefs, which is hindi sila nagkakaunawaan or there's no understanding between the two parties. The next is record keeping was also important since they needed to be remembered the places that they had been and document the trades they made with each other. It was also vital to keep records of their history and culture so they could establish their identities as they tried to relate with other cultures and civilizations. As a trade and travel expanded, it became necessary to record exchanges, agreements, and cultural stories. This led to the development of writing systems, such as as you can see here, my drawing sa pader. And that helps us to understand kung ano yung mga nangyayari before sa past. Then the increase in size and number of nations connoted increased demand for food and other basic necessities. This condition also implied that people must be able to produce food at a given time and space since resources were getting scarcer as more people struggled to share the basic necessities. The people thus needed a form of technology that would enable them to increase food supplies and other survival needs without them traveling more or working harder. As population grew, the more na marami yung population, the more na mas lumalaki rin yung mga needs ng tao. So they have to find a solution such as farming tools and such as irrigation that help them increase production to feed the entire communities. Then let's talk about the weapons and armors. Weapons and armors were very important as well as in the discovery of new places or the establishment of new alliances with other tribes. At that time, there was always a risk of conflict when people meet others with different culture and orientations. It is due to differences nga. Like iba yung paniniwala here, iba din yung paniniwala din dito. Conflicts were common, especially if different groups struggled to control vital resources. The stronger nations tended to invade the weaker ones para matake nila yung mga resources na very need. As such, the development of weapons and armor for security and protection was considered a very major achievement. As resources became valuable, conflict arose. Societies invented weapons and armor for the defense and as well as conquest. Primary challenge they faced was the conservation of life. The early people might have been successful in harnessing the high resources that the world could provide, but their survival posed a great problem. Different illnesses and diseases, both natural and man-made, hampered the full potential of a human being. Given the predicament, science and technology played a major role in the discovery of cures, if not the prevention of the illnesses. Diseases were very common. People experimented with such herbs and procedures or mga kung ano man yung mga paniniwala nila to cure such illnesses, laying the groundwork for the medicine. Next is moreover, in order to integrate their needs for better transportation, establishments of structures for protection from human attacks and natural disaster, and constructions of bigger and stronger infrastructure, people ventured into what is now known as the field of engineering. The development in this field allow humans to build structures that would address and their specific needs and wants. Some of these structures built during the ancient times still exist today and continually owe people. People built shelters, bahay nila, temples, or mga public buildings na kailangan nila for uh, their work and using innovative techniques that also balance the functions and as well as the aesthetics of their place. Then let's talk about the aesthetics. The development in engineering also ushered in the introduction of architecture. Others might see architecture as a mere style, but during the ancient times, elaborate architecture designs were signs of technological advancements of a particular civilization. In the generation to come, architecture would be considered a status symbol among nations of how advanced their technology is. It may also establish the identity or of a nation. So here, people began using like ornaments, beautiful cloths, and cosmetics such as hats, earrings, and etc. Not only for the use of beauty or aesthetics, but also as a form of identity and as well as their spiritual beliefs. The people were not contented on beautifying only their infrastructures and surroundings. Being able to prolong life with the mass production of food and advancements of medical technology, as well as raise the quality of life by making complicated and difficult tasks easier. Human later on developed the technology on to improve how they look. They discovered that the people look more visually presentable and appealing by adding some features and decorations in their body. As what I have said kanina is like um using ornaments such as like uh another thing pala is cloth or in such cosmetics na kung ano man yung ilalagay nyo sa katawan nyo, it's called aesthetics. With all in this mind, one can conclude that the developments in science and technology, aside from the effect in the lives of people, were the result of many prior antecedents. Out of the necessity, people in ancient times were able to discover and invent things that would impact the lives of the modern people. The following discussion will tackle the different major technological advancements during the ancient times, which include some of the achievements of the early civilizations such as the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Egyptians. It will continue to describe the gradual application or knowledge up to the contemporary time, which is today. Let's talk about Sumerian civilization. Sumerian from Mesopotamia are credited with many firsts in human history. Sumeria is located on the southernmost tip of ancient Mesopotamia. Sumerians are known for their high degree of cooperation with one another and their desires for great things. They are not contented with the basic things that life can offer. This desire pushed them to develop many things connected with science and technology. Then that allowed them to build so many different kind of things, and it helped them so much na to the point na naglago sila, yumaman sila, and they built so many things talaga. One of the things or key factors na yung mga nagawa nila is the cuneiform. This was the first written language using symbols carved on the clay tablets. It allowed Sumerians to document trade, history, and laws. I believe itong nasa right side is mga law, yan siya. And so one of the major contributions of the Sumerians is the development of the first writing system known as cuneiform. It is a system that utilizes words, pictures, and triangular symbols which are carved on the clay using wedge instruments and then left to dry. Cuneiform allowed the Sumerians to keep records of things with great historical value and or everyday life. And that allowed us in our modern world or time na translate natin kung ano man yung mga nangyari sa past. Then next is the Uruk city, another important contribution of Sumerians in the city of Uruk. It is a great wonder not only because it is considered to be the first true city in the world, but also for the way it was erected. There were no building stones in the location of this city, and lumber was limited, making construction a big challenge. The Sumerians were able to build the city using only mud or clay from the river, which they mix with reeds, right? Reeds, producing sun-baked bricks, a true engineering feat. They used the bricks to make houses that protected them from the harsh weather and to build a wall around the city that prevented wild animals and neighboring raiders from entering. This was the first major city in the Sumerian civilization. It was built using only mud and clay bricks. It had homes, temples, and city walls for safety and defense for the people. A major architectural feat. Oh my god, so beautiful. Next is the Great Ziggurat of Ur. Another engineering and architectural feat of the Sumerians is the Great Ziggurat of Ur, the Ziggurat also called the Mountain of God. was built in the same manner that they constructed the city of Uruk. Without much building materials, the struggle was constructed using sun-baked bricks. The ziggurats serve as the sacred place of their chief god, where only their priests were allowed to enter. The temple showcases not only the elaborate and intricate Sumerian architecture, but also the remarkable technology used to build it. As such, even until today, people still enjoy and marvel at the preserved Great Ziggurat of Ur. As you can see, that's a massive temple made of sun-dried bricks. It showed their religious devotion and construction skills. And I believe that, no, I mean, what I've heard is that the higher you go from the stairs is the more na mas ma-feel mo yung spiritual something, ganon. And next is irrigation and dikes. As population So did the demand I as population increased, so did the demand for food. The Sumerians were challenged to mass produce foods, items, but the elements in the environment seemed uncooperative. It was so difficult to get waters from the rivers that they could not maintain farmlands. Some people or groups had sparse water supply while others had problems with flooding caused by the river. As a solution to this dilemma, the Sumerians created dikes and irrigation. Yung mga kanal na nakikita niyo, yung mga daanan ng tubig, yan yung mga irrigation and dikes. Uh, Here again, ano yan? Dikes and irrigation canals to bring water to farmlands and at the same time control the flooding of the rivers, which helped them to solve the current problem. This method was considered as one of the world's most beneficial engineering works. Through the dikes and canals, the Sumerians were able to enjoy year-long farming and harvesting, which increased their food production. Another thing is sailboats. Another challenge to the Sumerian was transportations. At that time, the wheel was not yet invented. The main mode of transportation was through waterways such as rivers and seas. Boats were used to carry large quantities of products and were able to cover large distances. However, they wanted to discover the faraway lands to settle since the population was getting bigger or larger and boats were not enough to accommodate more people and products, which is they needed a mode of transportation that did not require much human resource. Some sources attributes to the Sumerians the invention of sailboats to address their increasing demands. Sailboats were essential in transportation and trading as well as in fostering culture, information, and technology. They used rivers for transportation and trades. These boats could carry more goods and they didn't rely only on manpower, which helped them to innovate further. Then, this is where the wheel was invented. In the latter part of their histories, the Sumerians were able to invent the wheel since the specialized tools needed to create were already available. The first wheels were not made for transportation, but for farm work and food processes. With the use of the wheel and axle, the mass production was made easier. Farmers were able to mill grains with less effort and less time. Uh, Wheel was first used in agriculture for grinding the grain. It was adapted for transportation due to its shape that allows it to move, changing how people traveled and as well as their work. Next is the plow, plow. Yes, that's plow. Another farm technology invented by the Mesopotamians is the plow. Humans evolved from being food gatherers to farm cultivators. However, farmers needed a technology which would enable them to dig the ground where the seeds would be planted. The plow was invented to dig the earth in a faster pace. As the plows break the ground, the farmer would just drop the seeds and farm work would already be done. With this tool, farmers could cultivate larger parcels of land faster, enabling them to mass produce food without taking so much effort and time. These help till soil faster and more efficiently, leading to a larger and better harvest. And as well as mas napadali yung work ng mga Sumerians. Next is roads. In order to facilitate faster and easier travel, the Sumerians developed the first road. With this work, the flow of traffic became faster and more organized. They made the road with the same technological they used in making the sun-baked bricks that they laid down on the ground. They water-poured bitumen, a black, sticky substance similar to asphalt, to smoothen the roads. The invention of roads was very useful, especially during the rainy seasons when traveling in soft and muddy roads proved to be difficult. Brick and tar like bitumen were used to create roads that made trade and as well as their travel and yung travel nila is mas napadali than even kahit umuulan. That would be also Sumerians. Then let's proceed with Babylonian civilization. Babylonian civilization emerged near the Tigris and Euphrates River. The Babylonians were great builders, engineers, and architects. One of their major contributions is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. So here's the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Today, people can only marvel at the beauty of the famous Hanging Gardens of Babylon from stories or historians and paintings that portrays the place. It was said to be a structure made up of layers upon layers of gardens that contain several species of plants, trees, and vines. According to the legends, the great Babylonian king, yes, you can see his name here, built the gardens for his wife, Queen Amethyst. However, there's no physical evidence has been found to prove that existence of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Its exact location is also unknown. Since time immemorial, people have been debating about the existence of the said mythical place. Many said it was just a product of creative imagination of a great king because it lacked documentation and archaeological evidence. On the other hand, if it really existed, it must have been destroyed by war, erosion, or even an earthquake. True or not, hearing the stories and description of the place would be enough to inspire awe to anyone. One can imagine the thick greenery decorated by beautiful flowers coming from different places in the garden and complicated design of the infrastructure. If the stories were true, the Hanging Gardens of the Babylon may be considered as one of the greatest engineering and architectural achievements of the world that is almost impossible to replicate. It was believed to be an enormous, no, Hanging Garden, Babylon was believed to be an enormous multi-tier garden that was built by the king para sa ano niya, asawa. Although existence is debated, it symbolized advanced engineering, water management, aesthetics, nature, and as well as the architectural beauty of that place. Then that would be for Babylonian civilization. Then let's proceed with Egyptian civilization. Another early civilization famous for its legacy is the Egyptian civilization located in North Africa. Many stories tell about the engineering feats of the Egyptians, especially regarding the infrastructure established by the pharaohs. Aside from engineering technology, the Egyptians have contributed other practical things that the world now considered as essential. It is thus safe to say that the Pyramids are not the only contribution of the Egyptian civilization to the modern world. The Egyptians were known for the massive structure and practical innovation, and as well as aesthetics because of their artistically beautiful artworks. We have here the key factors that Egyptian civilization tawag nito, helped the world to innovate further. We have here the paper of papyrus or paper itself. One of the earlier contributions of Egyptian civilization was the paper of papyrus. Although the Egypt was not the first to develop a system of writing, but paper was very easy to access. And saan tayo? Nawala ko. Although Egypt was not the first to develop a system of writing, they were able to make writing easier for the world. Before the Egyptian innovation, clay tablets were used. However, safekeeping and transporting them were a major problem. Clay tablets were very fragile, heavy, and delicate to handle. Madali na siya mabasag. So bringing them to places was a major challenge. Hence, the Egyptian invention of the paper or papyrus was a welcome development. Papyrus was a plant that grew abundantly along the Nile River in Egypt. They were able to process the plant in order to produce these thin sheets on which one could write down things. Since papyrus was lighter and thinner than the clay tablets, it was easier to carry and store. The sheets were also less breakable as compared to clay tablets. This invention was a major accomplishment in Egyptian record keeping and communications. It allowed them to record more safely the history of their current era. People then were able to send letters or corresponding anywhere in the world since the pieces of paper were very light that they could be carried and delivered by birds. Moreover, record keeping was no longer a problem since documents would not take huge spaces. Therefore, it was easier to keep them away from raiders who often destroyed the records of the nations they invaded. Here also we have the of course kung may paper, may ink, di ba? So when the Egyptians invented the papyrus or the paper, engraving ceased to be used in writing. As a result, the Egyptians invented the ink by combining soot with different chemicals to produce inks of different colors. The ink must be withstand the element of nature since it was used to record history, culture, and codified laws. It must also be tamper-proof so that people could not simply tinker with those written down by authorities. Papyrus ink, it was made from the Nile River. I know papyrus was made from the Nile River's reeds, while the first paper-like writing surface. It was easier to store and transport than the clay tablets, which is magaan lang siya bitbitin kahit saan mo pa yan siya bitbitin. Ink made writing on it possible. That's why it allows, ay, that's why possible na nakasulat tayo dun sa papel na yun. The next is hieroglyphics. Like the Sumerians, the Egyptians also developed a system of writing using symbols known as hieroglyphics. Although some say that hieroglyphics was adapted from the earlier writing system established in Mesopotamia as a result of trade between civilizations, the Egyptians believed that this writing system was provided to them by their gods. This form of writing can still be seen today and remains to be as the famous as the pyramid where they were found. Hieroglyphics was the language that tells the modern role of the history and cultural of ancient Egypt. Their records were well preserved since they were carved at the walls of the pyramids and other important Egyptian structures. So, hieroglyphics is a picture-based writing system that is carved into temples and walls or kahit saang pader ng pyramid. It records Egypt's history, region, culture, laws, and everything. And ito tayo sa cosmetics and wigs. Um, the cosmetics, the Egyptian Also invented the use of cosmetics, although cosmetics in the modern times are used to improve the highlights, the facial features of a person. Their function in ancient Egypt was for both health and aesthetics reasons. Egyptians wore cowl or kohl around the eye to prevent uh, and even cure eye diseases. Kohl was created by mixing soot or what's this called malachite with mineral galena. Yes. Egyptians also believed that a person wearing makeup was protected from evil and beauty was a sign of holiness. At present, this cosmetics industry is booming, billion industry. Another cosmetics invention of ancient Egyptians is the wig. At present, wigs are used to enhance the appearance of people who are balding for those who want to try new hair trends. Meanwhile, during the ancient Egyptian times, wigs were worn for health, wellness, and rather than for aesthetic purposes. The wigs are used for protect the shaved heads of the wealthy Egyptians for harmful rays of the sun. Wearing a wig was a better putting on than a scarf or any head cover since wig allowed the heat to escape. Moreover, it was considered thinner than natural hair because it prevented the accumulation of head lice. Cosmetics and wigs used for both beauty and health for the Egyptian civilization. Cowl eye makeup protected against infections and sun glare, and while wigs kept shaved heads cool and clean. Then lastly is the water clock or clepsydra. Another important ancient Egyptian contribution is the water clock. This device utilized the gravity that affects the flow of the water from one vessel to another. The amount of water or its heights depending on the method used remaining in the device determines how much time was elapsed since it is full. In the process, time is measured. The water clock was widely used as timekeeping device during the ancient times. It is used to measure time based on water flow. This was very useful in temples and for their ano to? Daily activities. Then next is let's talk about the Greek civilization. The Greece is an archipelago in the southern eastern part of Europe, known as the birthplace of Western philosophy. Some of the major achievements of the Greek include in-depth of work on philosophy and mathematics. More than Colosseums and Olympics, Greek civilization has contributed much to the world, especially in the fields of science and technology. Alarm clock, one of the most utilized gadgets today that was invented by the ancient Greeks in the alarm clock is the alarm clock. Although the alarm clock during that time did not resemble the present day alarm clock, the purposes was just the same, to tell an individual when to stop or when to start. So ang purpose lang ng alarm clock nila is when mag-start yung person and when to stop. The ancient Greeks alarm clocks used large complicated mechanisms to time the alarm. They made use of water or sometimes small stones or sand that dropped into drums that sounded the alarm. Plato was believed to have utilized an alarm clock to signal the start of his lecture. His version used four water vessels lined up vertically. The upper vessel supplied the water which dropped at the vessel below it, which was set to be filled in a given time. After it was full, water was siphoned, siphoned off at a faster rate into the third vessel, which could cause the expulsion of contained air, creating a whistling noise. Afterwards, the vessel would empty towards the bottom vessel for storage and use. Alarm clock was used a water flow and sound to mark time, especially for scholars like Plato. It ensured the disciplinary and as well as the structure. Next is water meal. Water mills were also considered as one of the most important contributions of the Greek civilization to the world. They were commonly used in agricultural processes like milling of grains, which was a necessary form of food processing during that time, because milling was made possible by the use of water mills. The mass production of rice, cereals, flours, and like became common. Water mills were considered better than mills powered by farm animals because they required less effort and time to operate, since the farmer did not have to raise animals. They only required access to the rivers or flowing water, where a mechanism of a large wheel with a small bucket of water attached to it to be installed. It used the flowing water to turn machinery for grinding grain. The invention helped mass produce the flour with minimal labor. Oh, yun pala sa Greek. Then let's proceed with Roman civilization. Um, The Roman Empire was perceived to be the strongest political and social entity in the West. It was considered to be the cradle of politics and governance during that period. Because the Roman Empire was so large, other civilizations looked up to it as their model in terms of legislation and codified laws. Aside from their contributions in politics, a lot of discoveries and inventions still relevant today can be attributed to the Roman Empire. Romans are combined with practicality with also power because of their laws and legislation, and yeah, the codified laws mentioned here, leading to a long-lasting innovation. And here are the key factors. We have here the newspaper. One of the major contribution of the Romans is the newspapers. The first newspapers, known as gazettes, contained announcements of the Roman Empire to the people. Made before the invention of paper, these gazettes were engraved in metal or stone tablets and then publicly displayed. When paper was invented, it became easier to the Romans to publish matters that needed the attention of the Roman citizens. In fact, with the advent of paper, minutes of the proceeding of the Roman Senate were done in shorthand. These documents were edited and published on the same day that they were recorded. This way, the Romans enjoyed the easy access to the government information the same way we benefit from the present day newspaper. Uh, tawag nito, newspaper, or it is called Acta Diurna in Roman. It is carved on a stone or metal sheets that is displayed in the public places para makita ng mga citizens. It is used to inform the citizens of laws, battles, and yung mga public events nila. The next is we have bound books or codex. With the invention of paper, it became easier for civilization to write down everything that happened in their time. Record keeping was much easier since the paper did not easily break, was lightweight, and did not occupy much space. As a result, civilization became fond of record keeping, especially documenting historical events and newly legislated laws. Aside from the Romans writing down the information about history and politics, literature also changed form from clay to tablets to what? Parchments of paper. According to sources, Julius Caesar started to the tradition of stacking up the papyrus from pages of a book. Later on, they were able to provide a cover to protect the papyrus. The earlier cover were made of wax, but they were later replaced by animal skin, with proved to be the stronger and long-lasting. With the papyrus pages bound together and covered by animal skin, the ancient Roman Empire was able to produce the first books or codex. Uh, Romans created the first books. So sila ang pinakauna nakagawa ng libro just by stacking up the papyrus or yung papers by pages, and by binding them, makagawa sila ng book. Binding is like pinagkaisa, pinag-connect, pinag-isa. They're placing the scrolls, tablets, and yung mga written sa place. And we have here the architecture. Roman architecture is renowned for its monumental scale, innovative use of concrete and arches, and emphasizes on public works, which shows their artistically good as well as their aesthetics and how good their proportions and as well as how they built the building. It built upon the Greek architectural orders but also developed its own styles and techniques, leading to iconic structures like the Colosseum, Pantheon, and aqueducts. Roman architecture, famous for arches, dome, aqueducts, and concrete, these structures were durable and very functional and very appreciative because of its form and its historical value. Let's proceed with the Roman numerals. Although other number systems had already been established before the Roman numerals. Those old systems could not keep up with the high calculation requirements due to the increasing rate of communication and trades among nations. Since the Roman Empire was expanding, it had to deal with many nations to maintain its power. For this reason, the Romans devised their own number system specifically to address the need for a standard counting method that would meet their increasing communication and trade concerns. Although the Roman numeral is no longer widely used nowadays due to its inherent limitations, quite a number of enthusiasts would still use it over other more popular number systems like the Hindu-Arabic system due to its aesthetics and historical value. Um, Roman numerals is a counting system used in trade and as well as some governance. Though limited lang yung use niya for calculation, it is symbolize the Romans' influence and as well as the legacy. Next is let's proceed with the Chinese civilization. One thing is the Chinese is known for very masipag at very business-minded. The Chinese civilization is considered to be the oldest civilization in Asia, if not the world, if not the world. Also known as the Middle Kingdom, China is located in the far east of Asia. It was famous among the other Asian civilization because of its silk trade. Not a great amount was written about ancient China, partly due to its distance from the other civilizations. Despite its less popular status among the early civilizations, one cannot discredit the significant contribution of the Chinese and civilizations. The thing is here, as you can see, magaganda yung mga damit ng mga babae here, because they develop this so-called silk. They're the one who also develop so many aesthetically good na mga patterns ng mga dress nila, yung sa mga cultures nila and such. So here, the silk, one of the things that connected Far East China to the world is silk. Although silk is naturally produced by silkworms, the Chinese were the ones who developed the technology to harvest the silk and process it to produce paper and as well as clothing. Silk production resulted in the creation of a product for trade. The silk trade opened China to the outside world, making way for cultural, economic, and scientific exchange. It bridged the gap between the Western world and the use of Middle Kingdom. The Chinese mastered the process of extracting and weaving silk from silkworms that allowed them to innovate and develop a so-called machines. Tawag doon, saan yun nakalagay dito man? O yung technology, then mas napadali yung work nila. Silk became a major trade item on the Silk Road. Sikat sila dahil sa silk. Then, one thing here, oh my God, mga mahihilig sa kape. Tea is a beverage produced by pouring hot or boiling water over crushed or shred dried tea leaves. It was believed that the first tea was drunk by a Chinese emperor. Tea production was developed when an unknown Chinese inventor created a machine that was able to shred tea leaves into strips. The machine was done using wheel-based mechanism that with sharp edges attached to a wooden ceramic pot. Because of this invention, the Chinese were able to increase their production of tea and trade with other nations. China thus became known for its tea export aside from its silk products. Mostly, yung mga tea nila is very healthy and very good siya sa body. Tea production developed with the ancient Chinese may have resulted in making tea as one of the most popular beverages in the world today. Tea became a cultural staple and trade product ng China. Tools were invented to increase production. Then let's proceed with the most known structure sa China, which is the Great Wall of China. This was once considered the only man-made structure. Oh my God, man-made siya guys. Oh, structure that could be seen from outer space. The Great Wall of China is said to be the largest and most extensive infrastructure that the nation built. It was constructed to keep out the foreign invaders and control the borders of China. I believe malakas sila dahil dyan sa pader nila. It was made with stones, brick, wood, and earth and other materials. It showcased the extent of Chinese engineering technology at that time. The structure was so massive and strong that it was said to be literally divided China from the rest of the world. The wall's construction put the nation among the powerful civilizations during the ancient times. It was pride of their land and their crowning glory. Today, with some sections already in the ruins, the Great Wall still continues to be a world attraction due to its historical significance and architectural grandeur or its aesthetics. Uh, one another thing is makita niyo na pader yan, 'di ba? So it is a very great defensive structure spanning of thousands of kilometers. It is a defensive structures during the war ng China. It was built to protect the empire and it symbolizes strength because of it's very long, tas makapal, tas mahaba nga pader. Then another thing na na-develop nila is gunpowder. The gunpowder is one of the most interesting inventions in China. Originally, it was developed by Chinese alchemists who aimed to achieve immortality. They mixed charcoal, sulfur, and potassium nitrate, but instead of creating an elixir of life, they accidentally invented a black powder that could gradually generate a large amounts of heat and gas and in an instant, ironically, instead of prolonging life, gunpowder is widely used to propel bullets from guns and cannons, which can cause countless of deaths. In fact, gunpowder propelled weapons are preferred by raiders who plan to attack at a distance. The same weapons are also used to uh, dissipate any attempts of invasion. On the other hand, gunpowder is also used for fireworks during the important celebrations in China. It was as you can see here, it was accidentally discovered while seeking immortality. It changed warfare and was also used for celebrations like snow fireworks. Now let's proceed with the medieval or Middle Ages. Ba yun? The start of the Middle Ages was marred with massive invasions and migrations. Wars were prevalent during this time. As such, great technology was needed in the field of weaponry, navigation, mass food and farm production, and health. The wars have resulted in population decline, but during the latter part of the period, there was a significant rise in population. Trade and commerce among nations increased, which resulted in greater demands for transportation technology. Some of the most innovative finds came from this period. Their remarkable printer. Oh my God, dito nag-start yung printer nila. After the Chinese developed woodblock printing, Johann Gutenberg was able to invent the printing press. A more reliable way of printing using a cast type. Dito na na-erase yung mga clay and such, guys. He utilized the wooden machines that extracted juices from fruits, attached to them a metal impression of few letters, and pressed firmly the cast metal into a piece of paper, which then made an exact impression on paper. This general invention soon evolved to be the mechanical printing press, which was eventually used all over the world. The printing press was invented to address the need for publishing books that would spread information to many people at a faster rate. This invention also made works accessible to individuals who could not even write. So the printing press allowed mass production of books, not only books but a different historical writings. This accelerated the history of literacy and the spread of ideas. And we have here the microscope. Another invention in the Middle Ages is the microscope. Growing population caused massive eh, migration and urbanization during the period. More and more people transferred to polluted and populated urban areas, which resulted in more people getting sick and make having a different kind of illnesses and needing for medical attention. To develop the proper medicines for illnesses, experts must either understand the symptoms through an investigation. Thus, they need a device that would magnify things invisible to the eye. Guided by the principles used for the inventions of eyeglasses in earlier years, Zacharias Johnson was able to develop the first compound microscope. With this device, people or us were able to observe organisms that were normally unseen by the naked eye. The microscope was key in discovering new means and preventing and curing various illnesses. The microscope has a very big impact sa medical industry, especially to the those who are uh, mga radtech. Uh, and oh my God, and as well as the dito nagbigay yung revolutionizing of medicine pala guys. This is where yung nag-start ang mga madaming discoveries. Then speaking of magnifying, we have here telescope. Since the Middle Ages was also known as the age of exploration, the need for nautical invention was high. Considering the vast and empty oceans, the scattered lands, ship captains needed to see far wide for them to navigate or to avoid dangers at the sea. The invention of the telescope, an optical instrument that helps in observation or of remote objects, was a great help for navigators during this time. Together with telescope, the invention of compass, oars, and rudders made sea traveling easier and safer. It helped the sailors explore the seas and scientists to explore the sky. Then next is we have war weapons. Since war were widespread during the Middle Ages, great development in the weaponry technology also occurred. All sides must develop weaponries, not only for offensive tools, but also as defensive instruments. For open area battles, before people developed crossbows and long bows so that they could attack the enemies at a long range, keeping themselves safe with the protection of walls and fortresses. Additionally, in close range hand-to-hand combat, soldiers should wear something to protect themselves, a need addressed by creation of iron body armors. However, body armors were heavy and limited their movements. The problem was eventually solved by the invention of chainmail. Yung chainmail guys, yung parang connected chain good siya tapos very light lang siya suotin. Hindi siya heavy as the literal na armor talaga. Pero it has a high defensive din. Then let's proceed with the modern times. The booming world population during the 19th century onwards demanded the more goods to be produced faster. People needed efficient means of transportation to trade more goods and cover larger distance. Machines that required animals to operate thus upgraded. Faster and easier means to communicate and compute should be developed to establish connections between and among the nations. Here is dito na nag-innovate lahat, dito na nag-start ng mga advancements where computer exists, phones, cars, trains, ano pa ba diyan, yung mga advanced na transportation, communication, medicines, foods, and so many more. Let's talk about pasteurization. As people were able to develop better means of production to meet the needs of the population, food preservation and food safety became an issue. The challenge to keep manufactured food from deteriorating was greater for dairy products, especially milk, since they usually spoiled faster. These goods needed to be consumed almost immediately after production or they would cause illness like diphtheria, a deadly disease, food poisoning, and typhoid fever. Since transporting these products would also take time, it would be impossible to trade them. This is where Louis Pasteur developed the pasteurization. Louis Pasteur is a French biologist and microbiologist and chemist. Found a way to solve the problem. He invented pasteurization. This is the process of heating dairy products to kill the harmful bacteria that allows them to spoil faster. Through this process, milk could be stored and consumed from a longer period. It also prevented illnesses caused by harmful bacteria. Other contribution of Pasteur to science, technology, and medicines included his work on molecular asymmetry, fermentation, and as well as the vaccination. Siya yung nag-develop first ng vaccination. Then next is petroleum refinery. The modern times demanded better means of powering homes and transportation. At first, people used animal oils for gathering light to illuminate their homes. However, the production of animal oils could not keep up with the demand. Faced with this concern, Samuel M. Keir was able to invent kerosene by refining petroleum. Kerosene was later on referred to as illuminating oil because it was used at first to provide lighting to homes. After some time, it was applied for heating purposes. The development of kerosene established the petroleum refinery industry. At present, petroleum is widely used in powering automobiles, factories, and power plants, among others. Tawag nito, kerosene was developed from a petroleum for lighting homes. It was later became a fuel source for transportation as well as yung mga industrias. Then next is telephone. The more people got connected by trade and exploration, the more they needed a way to easily maintain these connections and communicate with each other in real time. Governments likewise needed some kind of communication systems would allow them to administer their states well. Important day-to-day decisions must be discussed and addressed at the fastest time possible. Thus, the development of the telephone by Alexander Graham Bell was one of the most very, very, very important inventions at that time, especially nowadays because of the because of Alexander Graham Bell's develop the telephone, it allows us to have a very innovative gadgets such as iPads, computers, um, phones, iPhones, and such. And thank you so much, Alexander Graham Bell. Um, Next is calculator. Calculator, ano ba ako? Although an earlier version of calculator had already been developed, circumstances in the modern times required a faster way to compute more complicated equations. Computing devices must also be easy to carry since they would be utilized on a day-to-day basis. The creation of modern calculators did not only pave the way for easier arithmetic calculations, but also resulted in development of more complex processing machines like the computer. Because of the advancements of the calculator, it had helped the humanity na magka-develop further na to the extent na nakapag-travel sila ng outside the Earth and as well as out mas na kaya nila ma-navigate yung nasa outer space and that is a very, very big achievement ng humanity. It was calculate another thing is that calculator is made by mathematical computation faster and more accurate and was ancestor of modern computing. The next is, lastly, let's talk about the Philippine inventions. Despite being considered a developing country, the Philippines also contributes to the global advancements of science and technology. It is quite remarkable to note that ingenuity of the Filipinos despite the lack in resources. Despite kulang tayo ng mga resources, we are able to develop so many things. And that's actually good. The Philippines is known to be one of the most vulnerable countries in terms of natural disasters. Many of discoveries and inventions made by the Filipinos were therefore built from indigenous materials or created to adapt the harsh tropical. One of the inventions is the salamander amphibious tricycle. It has become ordinary for Filipinos to convert transport vehicles into something more useful. An example in this conversion of American military jeeps used in World War II into jeepneys. Another Filipino innovation in sidecar motorcycle transforming to tricycle accommodate more passenger. During the rainy season, flooding is a common occurrence in many areas in the countries. Bicycles find it very difficult to traverse in the streets. To remedy the issue, H2O Technologies, headed by Dominic N. Chung and Lamberto R. Ma something, together with chief designer Victor Atoy Liave, was able to invent the Salamander, an amphibious tricycle that can cross not only flooded streets but also on rivers and lakes. Wow. It may also be utilized to travel from the island to island since the Philippines is an archipelago. The Salamander is a very useful invention that has a lot of potential. Salamander amphibious tricycle can run through by land and water, perfect for flood-prone areas in the Philippines and as well as biyahe-biyahe through dagat, ay, no, dagat by river. Another thing is the salt lamp that is developed by Isam Heno. One of the major needs in the Philippines as developing nation is electrification. Electricity powers various types of machines, including light sources and such. In many rural areas in the country, activities would be ceased when it gets dark. It also became more dangerous to travel. Filipinos have resorted to use candles and kerosene lamps, but they carry certain risks as they are fire hazards. Solar power is also welcome development like rechargeable batteries. Solar panels are too expensive, far ordinary sa mga Pinoy. Fortunately, a young Filipina inventor named Isa Mijeno was able to invent a lighting system that utilized a material abundant in the Philippines, which is the salt water. She invented this sustainable alternative lighting salt lamp, an environmental friendly light source that runs on salt water. The salt lamp is safer as it poses no risk of fire and emits no toxic gases, which is safe sa mga human, especially sa mga gumagamit nito. Of course, aside from people who live in coastal area, it may also benefit those far-flung barrios because they can make their own salt water by mixing two tablespoon of salt, and glass of tap water. Next is medical incubator. A common problem in Philippines is the high mortality rate of newborn babies. One reason for this problem in the 20th century was the lack of available incubators, especially in far-flung rural areas due to the lack of resources and electricity. Dr. Fidel Mundo, a Filipino pediatrician and the first Asian woman admitted into Harvard Medical School, devised a medical incubator made for indigenous and cheap material which did not run on electricity. Miss Mundo's incubator was made by placing native laundry basket inside a bigger one. Hot water bottles were inserted between the basket to provide warm and makeshift fluid to allow oxygen circulation. Its main purpose was to maintain conditions sustainable for a newborn baby, usually a preterm baby. Other breakthrough in the Philippines medicine attributed to Miss Mundo included her works on the immunization and treatment of jaundice and broth diet for curing diarrhea. Uh, Medical incubator is a low-cost, electricity-free incubator used by using the native materials, and it helped save babies so much, a lot sa rural areas. Then we have here mosquito ovicidal, larvicidal trap system. Dengue. Dengue, a mosquito-borne viral illnesses is endemic in tropical and subtropical areas, including especially here in the Philippines. This virus is usually transmitted by Aedes aegypti mosquito, rampant during the rainy season. Insecticides were previously used to kill this species. However, recent study shows that insecticides due to sobrang paggagamit ng mga insecticides sa mga mosquito, nagkakaroon sila ng most some of them na-adapt nila yung, environment that allows them na maging resistant sa isang insecticide. That's why time to time nag-evolve ang mosquito. Likewise, using insecticides is harmful not only to humans but also to the environment. Saan na ba tayo? Also, it is known as oil trap. This trap is made to natural ingredients that lethal to mosquitoes but safe for humans and environment. A trap that targets mosquito larvae using safe natural materials. It is designed to prevent dengue outbreaks. Then lastly is e-jeepneys yung mga sakayan natin ngayon. A major innovation that changed the transportation industry in the Philippines was the development of the e-jeepney. The iconic public utility vehicle was built using the military jeeps left by the Americans after World War II. The chassis the chassis of the body of the military jeeps were intended to accommodate more loads and passengers. Because of its usefulness, the jeepney dominated Philippine streets and is so considered as the primary mode of transportation of most Filipinos. However, the diesel-powered jeepney produced large quantities of black smoke and is usually a major contributor of noise pollution due to its primitive exhaust system. To counter this disadvantage, the electric jeepney or e-jeepney called was developed. This modern type of transportation utilized electricity instead of more expensive diesel. It is environmental friendly since it does not emit any smoke and noise. E-jeepney is a modern electrical version of the jeepney. It reduces air and noise pollution and as well as supports sustainable transport and especially it fosters tawag nito, nature, uh, ecosystem friendly and very good para sa mga health ng tao. It's because reduce niya ang risk of having to wala jud gi-eliminate jud niya ang existence of smoke na malangkat man. And it's a good thing for our health. The items discussed in this chapter are only of the some greatest inventions and developments plans during the different time periods. There are still more innovations and discoveries that were made in the course of history that changed the world. Can you name other great discoveries? Hmm, wow. Then for the conclusion, the historical trajectory of science and technology is profoundly shaped by humanity's enduring needs and aspirations. I believe that it is very important for us to know what happened from the past, how we developed, how it began, how are the reasons are made kung bakit andito tayo ngayon. And it's a good thing na mag-reminisce tayo sa past and and as well as it's a good thing kasi we are able to learn from history. And that would be all, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank you.